Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're going exploring the world of mushrooms. And I'm not just talking about portobellos on your pizza.
Right. We're talking about all the incredible health benefits of these amazing fungi.
So we've got this fascinating article here from Shroom Traders called Are Mushrooms Good for You? The surprising benefits of these nutrient-packed fungi. And, well, I gotta say I was pretty blown away by some of the stuff I learned.
It really is fascinating how much power these little guys pack.
Totally. So the article jumps right in talking about all the vitamins and minerals packed into mushrooms. But there was one fact that just jumped out at me. I had no idea that mushrooms are one of the few natural sources of vitamin D.
Yeah, they're pretty unique in that way, and it's not just that they contain vitamin D, they actually produce it when exposed to sunlight, just like us humans.
Right, seriously.
Very-
Like they're little suns themselves.
Exactly. That makes them a really valuable source of vitamin D, especially for people who maybe don't get a lot of sun or folks who eat a mostly plant-based diet where getting enough vitamin D can be a little trickier.
That's awesome. But the article says it's not just vitamin D. We're talking B vitamins for energy and brain function. Plus, they've got important minerals like potassium and selenium, and of course fiber to keep everything, well, running smoothly.
Absolutely. And then it gets even more interesting. Mushrooms also contain these powerful things called beta-glucans. They're like, well, imagine them as tiny little bodyguards for your immune system.
Bodyguards. Okay, now I'm really curious.
So beta-glucans actually stimulate your immune cells, make them more active, more effective at fighting off those nasty infections and illnesses. It's like they give your body's defense system a super boost.
Whoa, that is incredible. So eating mushrooms is basically like sending in an elite force to protect you from getting sick.
You could say that. And, some types of mushrooms are even more powerful when it comes to this immune-boosting stuff, like shiitake, matak, and reishi. Reishi mushrooms especially, they've been used in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries to do just that, strengthen the immune system and help fight off fatigue.
So we've got nutrient powerhouses and immune system warriors all in one little package. What else is hiding in these magical fungi?
Well, get this, they're also packed with antioxidants.
Yeah, antioxidants. Those are the superheroes of the cellular world, right? Protecting your cells from all that damage.
Exactly. And mushrooms have some pretty powerful ones too, like ergothioneine and glutathione. I won't get too technical here, but basically these antioxidants help fight something called oxidative stress. Imagine it like rust forming on your cells. Oxidative stress is kind of like that, causing damage over time. And that damage is linked to aging and all sorts of chronic diseases.
So eating mushrooms is like giving your cells a little shield, protecting them from the wear and tear of time.
Yeah, you can think of it that way. It's like a little fountain of youth hiding right there in the produce aisle.
I love it. Okay, I'm already sold on mushrooms.
Yeah.
But the article keeps going. It talks about how some mushrooms can actually boost brain power.
Yeah, and that's something researchers are really excited about. We're talking about lion's mane mushrooms here. They have compounds in them that might be able to improve memory, help you focus better, and maybe even help with things like anxiety and depression.
Hold on. Mushrooms that make you smarter and happier. I need to hear more about this.
So basically, these compounds in lion's mane mushrooms, they stimulate something called nerve growth factor, or NGF. And that's super important for brain cells to grow and stay healthy.
Got it. So if I want to win my next trivia night, got to stock up on lion's mane.
Hey, it couldn't hurt. But of course, more research is always being done. But the initial findings on lion's mane are definitely interesting. It's not like a magic solution, though, and a healthy lifestyle is still key.
Fair enough. But I like this idea of brain-boosting mushrooms way more than some of the other things people suggest for brain health.
Definitely. It's all about finding healthy habits that you actually enjoy.
Well, I already feel smarter and healthier just talking about mushrooms. And guess what? There's even more. The article mentions that they could help with weight management.
Yep, that's right. They're surprisingly good for people who are watching their weight.
Really? I never would have thought that.
Well, they're naturally low in calories, high in fiber, and low in fat. So they fill you up without weighing you down.
So it's like the perfect guilt-free indulgence.
You got it. Tons of flavor and texture without all the extra calories. And speaking of keeping things healthy, mushrooms are great for your heart, too.
Okay, so they're good for your brain, good for your waistline, good for your heart. What's next? Are they going to start doing my laundry, too?
Maybe not the laundry. But they can definitely help keep your gut happy. Mushrooms are a fantastic source of prebiotics.
Prebiotics. That's another word I've been hearing a lot lately. What are those exactly?
Think of prebiotics as food for the good bacteria in your gut. They help those beneficial bacteria flourish. And that's key for a healthy gut microbiome.
Right. Everybody's talking about the gut microbiome these days. It's amazing how much it affects our overall health.
Absolutely. And a balanced gut microbiome, thanks to prebiotics like those found in mushrooms, is linked to better digestion, less inflammation, and even improved mental health.
Wow. So mushrooms are like tiny little gardeners, helping our gut stay healthy.
That's a great way to put it. They really do help create a harmonious environment in your digestive system.
Okay, I am seriously impressed. It's like mushrooms are the ultimate multitaskers when it comes to health. Is there anything they can't do?
Well, maybe not everything, but they might have one more trick up their sleeve. The article mentions some really interesting research looking at how mushrooms might actually help fight cancer.
Wait, really? Mushrooms as cancer fighters? That's wild.
I know, right? Now, to be clear, research is still ongoing. We're not saying mushrooms are some kind of miracle cure, but some types of mushrooms, like shiitake, maitake, and reishi, have these compounds in them, like polysaccharides and triterpenoids. And some studies have shown that these compounds might actually slow down cancer cell growth and give the immune system a boost in its fight against tumors.
So it's not a guarantee. But it sounds like they could be a really valuable part of a healthy lifestyle that might help reduce the risk of cancer.
Exactly. And it'll be exciting to see what future research shows us. It's definitely a promising area, and it just adds to the already impressive list of things mushrooms can do.
I'm telling you, I'm blown away. Mushrooms are like these little superheroes hiding in plain sight.
Okay, but let's switch gears for a minute and talk about actually enjoying these amazing fungi. The article mentions this unique umami flavor. What exactly is that?
Umami is often called the fifth taste. You know, you've got sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. Well, umami is that savory, rich, almost meaty flavor. It just adds this amazing depth to dishes. Oh, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like that extra something that makes you want to keep eating. And mushrooms seem to have a lot of it.
They really do, and that's a big part of why they're so versatile in cooking. You can make them the star of the dish, or they can just hang back and make all the other flavors pop.
Okay, so let's get practical here. What are some of your favorite ways to cook with mushrooms?
Oh, there are just so many possibilities. For something simple and classic, you really can't go wrong with sautéed mushrooms. Just some garlic, butter, maybe a little fresh herbs.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. What if I'm feeling a little more adventurous?
If you're up for something different, try grilling portobello mushrooms. Stuff them with your favorite fillings. It's like a hearty vegetarian steak.
Okay, that's going on my list for sure. What about those mushroom burgers and tacos people are talking about?
Mushroom burgers are fantastic, especially if you're eating plant-based or just trying to eat less meat. You can use a big portobello cap for a really hearty burger or chop up a mix of different mushrooms.
And mushroom tacos. I'm intrigued.
Oh, mushroom tacos are a revelation. Sautéed mushrooms with some onions, garlic, maybe some spices, all piled high on warm tortillas with your favorite toppings. It's amazing. You can use any kind of mushroom, really, but I'm a big fan of oyster mushrooms for tacos. They've got a nice, delicate flavor and a slightly chewy texture.
I am so there.
Yeah.
Okay, now what about those more delicate varieties like shiitakes or enoki mushrooms? Any tips for cooking with those?
Shiitakes have that great, earthy, almost smoky flavor. They're awesome in soups, stir fries, or even just roasted. And their texture holds up really well to cook in. Then you've got enoki mushrooms. They're the ones with those long, thin stems, super delicate flavor. Those are delicious in soups, stir fries, or even just tossed into a salad for a bit of crunch.
You're making me hungry. I'm sensing the theme here. Mushrooms pretty much go with everything.
You're right about that. That's part of what makes them so great. You can add them to just about anything. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, you name it.
Oh, speaking of snacks, what about those dried mushrooms and mushroom chips I've seen at the store? Are those any good?
Absolutely. Dried mushrooms are perfect for adding a really intense flavor to soups and stews. They rehydrate beautifully and have so much flavor. And mushroom chips are a great alternative to potato chips. Way healthier and still really satisfying.
We have covered so much today. From boosting your immune system to brain power, helping with weight management and heart health, supporting gut health, even potentially fighting cancer, it seems like mushrooms do it all.
And let's not forget how amazing they are in the kitchen. They're truly a culinary chameleon, add depth and flavor to every dish. But there's one more thing we should touch on, and that's safety, especially when it comes to foraging for mushrooms.
Yeah, good point. Not all mushrooms are created equal.
Exactly. There are some amazing edible mushrooms out there, but there are also some that are poisonous. And some can even be deadly.
Yeah, that's a really good reminder. Definitely better to be safe than sorry when it comes to wild mushrooms.
Exactly. Don't eat any wild mushroom unless you are 100% positive you know what it is. And even then, it's always a good idea to check with an expert. It's much safer to get your mushrooms from reliable places, like grocery stores, farmers markets, or those specialty mushroom places.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when we're at the store, what should we look for? How do we pick the best mushrooms?
Good question. Look for mushrooms that are firm and plump. They should have a nice, fresh, earthy smell, and avoid anything that's slimy, discolored, or has a bad smell. That means they're probably past their prime.
Got it. Great advice. Now, let's say I've got my beautiful fresh mushrooms. How do I store them so they stay nice and fresh?
The best way to store mushrooms is in a paper bag or a container lined with a paper towel. Just pop it right in the fridge. That'll help absorb any extra moisture and keep them from getting soggy. And don't wash them until you're ready to use them. Too much moisture can make them spoil faster.
Perfect. I'm feeling much more confident about all things mushrooms now.
Me too. And hey, remember, if you're ever unsure about a mushroom, it's always best to ask an expert or check a good field guide.
Solid advice. Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything there is to know about mushrooms, from all those incredible health benefits to their culinary magic, and even how to choose and store them safely.
It's been a fascinating journey into the world of fungi, that's for sure. It's amazing how complex and interesting these little guys are.
I know, right? I feel like I have a whole new level of appreciation for mushrooms now. They're not just a tasty ingredient, they're a nutritional powerhouse, they're culinary chameleons, and they really show us just how diverse and amazing nature can be.
Well said. And with that, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the wonderful world of mushrooms.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you learned something new, and maybe even discovered a newfound love for mushrooms. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into all the wonders out there.